Morning, everyone, or I suppose it might be afternoon for you. Share with you my insights on how you can gain clarity about the gifts you have to share in this world. I have found that so many people are running around and they're amazing people with amazing talents and amazing abilities, and they're constantly doubting themselves or wondering, what do I have to offer, or confused about their ability to present their offers to the world. And I just want to be the one that says, I know you're amazing, and I know you have loads and loads of things that you can share with this world. You know, I have been doing one-on-one coaching and counseling for people in their spiritual development and personal evolution for 17 years now. And I've worked with so many people that say to me in various ways, I know I have something to offer this world and I don't know how to do it. And even as I say it, I feel so tender and almost like I want to cry, because that pain has been so visceral and real for so many people that I've worked with. And maybe that's true for you too. Maybe that's part of where your challenge shows up, in the sense of I don't have a degree, or I don't have a license, or I don't have a blankety blank 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 that would make me feel more confident in the idea that I have something to offer the world, or that I could make money sharing my passions and my gifts and my loves and the things that I'm most curious and enthralled with. I've heard it from so many people. And here's my premise. You know, it's just real straightforward. I believe every single one of you has at least one, and probably more, topics that you can speak on, write about, present on in some fashion for an hour or so that people will pay you for. That's my premise. And here's the thing. When I say that to people, a lot of times they go, oh no, I couldn't present, or I couldn't make a video, or I couldn't. We didn't. That's not the step we're on. The step we're on is the step where it's, what would you talk about? If you weren't nervous about making a video, and if you weren't nervous about writing something, and if you weren't nervous, if you weren't blocked, do you know what's inside you that you have ready to share? I call this your everyday expertise because I believe we're all experts on various things. And in being experts on various things, we didn't have to go and get trained necessarily, although that is one way to be an expert. Just living our lives has often made opportunity for us to become experts on various topics that aren't actually obvious sometimes, or they aren't the thing that maybe other people are experts at. One of the things that's super obvious is that when something's easy for us, we often imagine it's easy for everyone, and that is not true. So I'm going to tell you a story to prove it. A girlfriend of mine, I was talking to her about this very topic, and she said, oh, Veronica, I'm not sure I have an everyday expertise. And I said, oh, nope, yes, you do. And I said, what's easy for you? Better said, what is something that when you do it, your friends go, girl, how did you pull that off? And she said, well, okay, so I cook for the homeless population in my area, and I can make a dinner for like 100 people without it even bugging me. I don't get, and I said, stop the presses. You can do what? Because I am so hopeless in the kitchen, it's not even funny. And she's telling me she cooks for 100 people, and it's like, meh, that's Thursday. I said, well, that is an everyday expertise. That's exactly what I'm referring to. This idea that within you, you already have things that you already know that you already could be presenting to the world. So how do you figure that out? How do you identify what your everyday expertise is? What makes it more obvious? Well, sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes you don't see yourself as other people see you. Sometimes that fact that it's easy makes it like irrelevant or undervalued. Just like my girlfriend with her cooking for 100 people thing. I'm still blown away by that one. So how do you figure it out? Well, today I wanted to invite folks to go through just a little process with me, and that is to ask yourself a couple really important questions. And the first question I already mentioned, but I'll ask it again. What are things that you do that just make your friends say, how in the heck do you do that? How in the heck do you do that? And be very cautious that when you answer that question, you stay on that question, you stay on that answer, and you don't project into or but anyway, or nobody would ever pay me for that, or just what are things your friends see you doing that blow their minds? And the other question is, what are friends always asking for help with? What are people always asking you to help them with? Because if they're asking you, it's because they don't know how to do it. And if friends ask you as a favor, I believe strangers will pay you for that information, that insight, that expertise. So if anyone's here that wants to share the answers to those two questions, I'd love to hear what your answers are. So let's just recap that. The questions are, what are things that when you do them, other people are totally blown away by you being able to do them? And what are things that your friends are always asking you to help them with? Those two things often identify a place in you where you're already offering the world. You're already offering the world something that is uncommon enough that people are seeking you out for it and praising you for it. And now let's get them paying you for it. That's what I think we can do together. A challenge with this idea comes when folks say, okay, fine. Let's say I do have an expertise. Let's say I have it. We'll use my moms as an example. They are what you might call death doulas or death midwives. They help people at end of life, right? So they sit by the bedside, they sing with them, they're part of the threshold choir. They sing with folks that are passing. They help the family. They do everything, and it's amazing. And they say to me, well, this is our expertise. Clearly, this is our expertise. They teach local classes in this. People ask them for help with it. They're good at it, and it's amazing that they're good at it. But then they say, but how would we ever get it on the internet? How would people ever, know about us other than in our little town? And I sat with that question for several years. This is my mom's, and I'm like, moms, I don't want them relying on Social Security. I don't want them worrying about, food security and housing security. Who wants that for their parents? Like, that is not okay. And I look at them and I think, you are two of the most amazing women I know, doing a service in this world that is so needed and offering people options about something that's extraordinarily difficult for them to go through. And you're experts in this. You've even trained in it. You have all kinds of certifications. And yet, because you live in a small town, there's only so many people. So what do you do about that? And after sitting with that for several years, I realized I could create a program that would not only help you identify your expertise, but then walk you step by step through presenting that to the world as an online class. Yeah. Just breathe for a moment. I could have an online class. You could have an online class. What would that be like? Pretty amazing. One of my favorite parts of having online classes is getting paid while you sleep. Our world is set up to trade time for money. When you have an online class, you do the work once and you get paid for it over and over and over and over and over again, even when you're out with your friends, even when you're sleeping, even when you're not even thinking about it. So you have the gift that you know you've always, I shouldn't say gift, let's start this way. You have the urge to share something about yourself with the world. That's a common thing, even if you don't know what it is. And then we identify what you can share, what you could start with. It's not to say down the road you wouldn't share many, many, many things. But my belief is that if we can just get the first class done, get on the board, go through all of the things that come up in the process, then you can create bigger and more elaborate classes down the way. But my goal is to support you moving through all the mindset blocks that get in the way of you creating a 1 to 2 hour online class. And it can be as simple as you put up your phone and you record yourself talking for an hour. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, I suggest it's not. We don't want to put too many other things in the way of you getting to the end for your first course. And earlier I felt emotional because I was recalling how many people had said to me that their wish to share with the world was being thwarted by various reasons. And now I feel emotional because I'm recalling how the amazing people that have done their Everyday Expertise course, how they feel when they have accomplished it. Anybody want to ask a question or make a comment on any of the things that I have already said? Remember, the questions are, as we identify one of your expertises, one of the things you are already doing that you could be paid for doing, what's something that feels easy for you, that seems hard for other people? What's something that friends are always asking you for help with? You're already being acknowledged as an expert. You're just not being paid like the professional you could be. And I want to help you with that. Another thing that I want to help you with is the mindset blocks that come up. Here's where my history of having all this clients and working with so many people all over the world for all these years. I have so much information to support any challenges you have around mindset blocks. And I've created a list of the most common mindset blocks that people have presented to me. And I want you to have that. Let me put that in here for you. That will give you the opportunity to read over the most common mindset blocks that folks have presented to me and my take on how you deal with them, what you do with those mindset blocks. And one of my expertises is I often have a different way of thinking about things than is common. So it might give you the opportunity to shift your thinking around some mindset blocks that you might have thought about previously. Oh, Anya has a question. Let's see what that is. I want to change my work situation, less hours and more time to live. Yes. When you're not trading time for money, as in like an hourly or salary situation, when you're getting paid passively, meaning you have done the work, you put it out there, and people are ordering your products and courses without you having to be involved, that frees up a whole bunch of time to do other things. Anya continues, Veronica helped me find what I'm good at and trust my skills. Oh, I'm so glad. Today I uploaded my first tiny craft class today, and there's a big course about balancing chakras with essential oils in the queue. Exactly. Anya is a great example of what I'm talking about, because I have watched her be incredible and do things that I couldn't even possibly do for years. And she's is certainly an amazing example of the kind of people I had in mind when I created the Everyday Expertise course. And amazing, talented, beautiful, heart-centered people should not be grinding it out for an hourly wage. I'm sorry, that's just my belief in the world. Let's do something bigger than that by taking that chance on yourself. Taking the chance on yourself. Oh, Anya says, I love Veronica's guidance through the process, especially my inner process. You're very welcome. It's beautiful to help you with it and to watch you go through it. And for those that would like to participate in that kind of conversation, let me give you the link to my Facebook group. You can come over there and join us in the Facebook group and find out more about this. So I've posted the link to the Dropping Your Mindset Blocks, working on how mindset blocks convince you that that's all you get, and how we can take a slightly different path about a mindset block and open up to thinking about the whole thing in a brand new way. Plus, borrow my confidence in you. Borrow my confidence in you. I know you have something that you already do, that you've already learned, that doesn't require letters after your name, that doesn't require any sort of huge training course, that you can share with the world and make your gifts move on this planet. I know you can. I know you can. And I'll help you. This month, the Everyday Expertise course, when you sign up in December, includes a 30-minute one-on-one with me as a sign-up bonus. I would love to talk to you about your ideas and how you want to share and identify mindset blocks that are in your way and bust through them. That's what I want to give. That's the thing I have to offer the world. You know, I asked you earlier, what's the thing that you're good at that other people get amazed by? And you know what? That's my thing. Taking a whole bunch of complicated technological stuff and streamlining it. I'm good at that. Looking at the mindset blocks people throw up and finding paths through them that are maybe unexpected and unusual. I'm really good at that. So I combined all that into the Everyday Expertise course so that you don't have to do the 6 months of work I did to figure out how to most efficiently create your first online course. That's the gift I'm giving, is that efficiency. Okay. I think that covers everything I wanted to speak about today. Did anybody else see the cat's here? So that means it's an official call. When she shows up, that means everything's really, really real. Anya adds, by now making that change in my life feels totally doable, and I'm so chuffed that I'll be sharing my skills with the world. I love when you say chuffed. We don't, as Americans, we don't use the word chuffed. So I love when my European folks say chuffed, because it just feels so, I don't know, exotic. So I'll hang out here for just a couple more minutes to see if anybody else pops up with any questions or anyone wants to share. So remember, how do you figure out what your everyday expertise is? Well, a quick way is to look at what you're good at that other people are amazed by, that you don't think is a big deal typically, and what people are always asking you for help with. If you want to ask more questions about that, I'm sorry. If, I should have said that a different way, the cat is helping me. She's not distracting me. No, that's not what's going on. She's totally helping me. If you would like more questions to help you identify your expertise, I have a little survey you can fill out right here on my page, and it's an expanded list of questions. An expanded list of questions that helps you identify where you're an expert and what you have to offer the world. Okay. Super helpful cat. I'm so happy that I got to spend this time with you, and thank you everyone for welcome you into the village. It's lovely to get the chance to hang out with all of you, to learn what you know, and to share what I have. All right, I'll say goodbye for now. If you have any questions, feel free to post them here on the page. You can message me on Facebook, or if you prefer to email, my email is youreverydayexpertise@gmail.com. That's youreverydayexpertise@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Look, the cat's trying to help me click. There we go. Bye. I can't see.